Dear friends, Tuesday has gone. It has given way to a Wednesday. And so Wednesday is upon us, and it is the 5th of the month of June. Wow. January, February, March, April, May, June. So it is 05052024. Now, yeah. 0505
06.
0506. Okay. Yeah, 0506 2024. 2024. Yes. Okay, let's go again. 0506 2024. All right. All right. A little matters for my favorite dear now. Mona chole miss na me yen in contact akra say unyi obeko St. Peter's ya.
So because of you,
yeah,
I pray that one day when I get married and I give birth to a baby boy, definitely I would have to allow or make sure that my child attends St. Peter's.
Sharp,
my son.
So I volunteer to be the mentor of that. Yeah. All right, dear friends, that's how we decide to start.
And if it's a girl, send roses.
So yeah, straight. Don't go anywhere. The girls who eat banchampisi, they always walk in a straight line. You know?
Oh, really?
Anytime they are walking together, they walk in a straight line.
Okay.
All right, so that is how we begin to warm up your morning. It is a wet morning in most of the places in Ghana, but we are deciding to warm up your morning. Dear friends, on behalf of the production crew, it's a good morning, and again, your favorite Christian morning show, Sorry Na Shrine, wake up to a purposeful day. Let's go to the words of the scriptures and encourage ourselves. Meaning Maleke.
Okay, when I walk on Maleke, Yona Wulole, each on Niji, Keja Kuku Niji Nenwe, Niga Kaneo Ake, Shimile, Malama Kamfobu, Nimasha 𝗟𝗡𝗙 Mahabu. Shinimi wole mayeno ni meyi wala here mole Yehovah din ejeo. And then the English also reads like this, Jonah chapter 2 verse 9, and it says that, but I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. Salvation comes from the Lord. The word of God. Yes.
Such an inspiring scripture this morning, and goosebumps all over my body, because you know why? Yona ano nyankopon asumano ano waya sobrache na sobrache ni mu no wanya asotwe bi enti afa de wa hye ne ho bo se nea waka kire rade no obeyo. Dear friends, the relationship between man and God is a synergy of a covenant that has two legs. Nia wakaye and nia wobeyo, the one who said it and the one who will perform it. And so I read over again Jonah chapter 2 verse 9. But with a song of thanksgiving I will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed I will make good. Salvation comes from the Lord. Was say me de manu fa asedawo mu me de ba wanim na me mfa ma wanim koko na emom so afọrebo etachire bibia maka kire wo onyankropon biara me de wose ebeyoyo na maye esanse nkwaje efiri wo erade ho. I don't know what vow you have vowed to the Lord, but this morning and especially this month, the Lord will work with those who fulfill their vow. Whether it's a vow to God or it's a vow to man. Wako pledge ewa sorry. Wako kase ubetuya wo tight bi. Na no na me ka kire me leaders say tight ne duru we bi etimi bofo wani so. Timu amuntu ye nyina me de ache mo. Na emu mu nkona mu konko tua. Na me de ache mo say omuntu ya na me de ache mo. The rest of the months. David na nyamotre me say me de ache mo so omuntu ya. Do mu nkono komiki amends. Nkeke amake ameke shika abako.
Pay ko keje January ya pay fen.
Uba pay fen. Shinkeke amake ameke shika abako. Shimo ame ani ame calculate na ameke shika aba. Etwa me here for you. So that's what I'm trying to say. Share your beji nyankopon sika your beji badia me pa chiro ne zebia na afa wani so kakra wo refi ahochire nti wo refi mpa choko ye de acho so wunto na emum tua de obetu enti ko na fiti January aba besi June ko calculate ni nyina na betua na fama onyankopon. The Lord loves a cheerful giver, but those who are fulfill their vows. Thank you. God bless you. Now set the agenda.
All right, so even though they lay traps for me, I will flee from them, says a certain man to his accusers. But we'll bring you all the details and then the name of that man.
All right, so come to court and refute all these allegations. Utumi enyina eye agopramaso na onkoye de opese woye enti de ye kachire mono. Okay, well, some will say it's a continuation, and others will say it's an addendum to the first agenda, and that's what we ask. Meanwhile, the Vice President Bawumia is making a passionate appeal to the clergy. Or say, asofo, Mr. Ramo, eyampa se yaka. My boss ne kanye de nemu yensom ni ntimi nye na enhye onyankopon anuonyam we de me de manual we anya partisans say onyankopon fie ye besi. But the details of this we will bring to you when we sit. Now beyond that, yeah, onyankopon sorry na ebesi ana ana yesi woma
as I stand here, I will say no.
No, this one is a declaration from Osofu, so
yes,
you can't say no.
I can't say no.
Whatever it is, I will see when we're discussing, you were reading in the car when we're coming. I was just going through my mind to say, if we can make the building of the cathedral non-partisan, we'll build it.
Really?
Yes. If we make it non-partisan, so let's put it in the hands of the church. Let the politicians rest and do their politics. So
you're talking about Methodist, Presby, Anglican?
Oh, Christian Council, Ghana Pentecostal Council, all Christian bodies come together and we'll build this.
So we should look for one head.
Oh, there is already
head the whole process.
Yeah,
right?
There's already a head. There's a chairman to that effect. But the politicians should back off and leave it to the church. But that is a passionate appeal from the Vice President, His Excellency, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll ask the question now.
So our question of the day today is in relation to what Osofu just said. So what should happen to the National Cathedral project? You heard me. What should happen to that project? And the way you call us on SMKC, no, the TM segment, right?
The TM, yeah.
So the TM segment, you tell us what you want to happen to the National Cathedral project, because others are saying yes, others are saying nay. So yeah, when you call us, tell us about it.
All right, engineer for you, so we say yes, no, but we want you to say yes. Engineer, Madam Abisa say, and that say ye fret na ye kase ubetimi etwa esim na wa contribute Abisa. Eye cathedral nyankopon so dan na enam amanyoni bi so ye papa His Excellency Nanado Dan Quarcoo say wode da ase esa onyankopon enipa bi oye ma no bohye bi anyame hye no a abamu no wo si no wode ahye ni din kronkron no nya say sikasem aba ba ye de ebisa say yenko so ana yensi ana I mean yenko so ana yensi ana
so nyanya he ga anointing
ga
you can we more anointing
oh koni ga okay
power
Ike wale ajiku
power
okay be mi fu ano what you need your way o fine obi eba here anointing wale o ha me
ata ngwele awon ngwene odangba e ngwene ke ga adromi
amen problema nisa
yeah
o fine obi ebi ewo o fine. All right. All right, so let's say hi to our sponsors.
Okay, so 𝗟𝗏𝗏 Insurance Company. If you're looking for them in Accra, you can find them in Osu behind the Presbyterian Church, and there you can sign on to any insurance policy for yourself. And so do well to walk into their office today and please sign on to a particular insurance policy. There's a home protection policy for you in case you are working inside your house and then you fall into any accident. You can get a claim to take care of yourself. Now there's the personal accident policy as well. There is the motor insurance policy. There are contractors all risk, marine insurance, bonds, money insurance. Yes, you heard me. Money, you can insure your money. So please, if you have some stash of money stuck somewhere, please insure that money so that you can, get it back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly so. But you know that if you don't go to a proper school, you can't even know how to keep your money.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to go to a proper school. And these days, a lot of them are talking. Talking. But I still recommend for you the Methodist University. First, no nanka college tato, but college no pepe FU. Me pacho courses are readily served this morning. Pick up a form, and if you're a Methodist, you know it is free. If you are non-Methodist, also so crano, or akwenya say, school fees are, or de babitu and your betty be free. So just talk to the admission officer, go to the page and begin your communication. People are calling and funny form no form. All our forms can be downloaded on the internet. Methodist University, your boy Hun Samran is excellence, morality, and service.
Okay, so today there's a particular dish that I want to cook after work, and it is egg stew and yam. Yeah, you heard me, egg stew and yam. And then you cannot you cannot cook this meal without adding some of our natural spices to it, because there's a stew mix for you. And then you find all the natural herbs and spices you need for your meal in just one sachet. And so don't worry, if you are following me on Facebook today, when I cook that meal, I'll take a snapshot and post it on Facebook for you to see. And so you too, you can also try out any of the Sankofa spices, the wide range of the spices. And please, when you try it out, when you see me, please tell me how it went.
Well, so if you don't want to waste your time on wicked people who cook and do not give people something to eat, then I am recommending for you come KFK Food. Omo eduano na ya no aserve ano pay matese chef for number bedem from 4 a.m. and almost start to say omo yo muntus, omo ye gene, blending all the things. Now this morning I understand that breakfast has been served as early as 6 a.m. Now KFK4 ede womu table napkin asese so kama anope anope duane o de babrofo mo e friend of breakfast ewia your friend ewia duane o de babrofo mo e lunch ana afa enwumre duane o de babrofo mo anya dinner na afa aye supper na dakoro ye baby sa so bi nchirechire dinner ne supper no difference ben ne e synonym ana say antonym but said ye tiba KFK de enye ehho brofo na mum eduane ye de ana yes serve me pacho okotemade a omo wo community 25 annex but say e bano ne kese mu dia ene ambassadorial enclave e Wesley Towers Methodist for edan ya omosi fe the whole Accra edan bi eni ho a etese sa dan no emu ana KFK for KFK oh ni ngo na akpa.
So if you want to take breakfast, you cannot take an English breakfast without juice. Yes, natural fruit juice. And MIPO has every other fruit juice for you. There's pineapple, there's banana, there's millet, there's mango, and there's a combination of the ginger in any of these fruits I have mentioned. It's sweet, it's nice. I'm not talking about this sugar sweetness. No, I'm talking about the natural part of the sweetness. And so this one, when you take it, it will boost your vitality. It will make your day great. And so just walk into their office in Adabraka, inside the Grant House, just in the Holy Spirit's Cathedral, and there you can get this. If you're buying more, you are going to get a lot of discounts, and so do well to buy more for your parties, your weddings, your funerals, your engagements, your any program that you have and you want to serve some fruit juice. Please buy from MIPL.
Well, so you can walk to them, but if you walk to them and say you don't have money, they will sack you. Any DM, you ever pamu, any DM, you ever pamu. Pacho, walk to them and have money in your pocket. Me pacho. Bema woni sika woni kotokuo mu no wona mukra ya na woni so ye who are you isanse bema de ona mo ese sika ewo ho odu fi a beba akon homa obetua ma school fees me pa cha obeye sa neoma we nyina de a ene eye multi credit for ye ahyenso de no eye blue ni red o me say ukoho a eye mo loan executives ni credit executives ni o say ema ho fefo mrantia ho fefo tie African no musi ho na omo udi nkomo. It is a spectacle to behold. Me pacho opebesian community credit for home beboa wo sika so edafia emfa entufi dollar na chat say some money mudie but yen sloda but multi credit there is no fluctuation sika no said ye te ho no kwa na ekoso if you save with them. All right, so thank you, our sponsors. Now you want to add your clothing line.
So Marbella Clothing.
And yes, I bet you are tired.
Marbella Clothing is also one of our sponsors, and so if you are attending a wedding, you want to attend a funeral this weekend, you have a party to attend, they are ready to wear outfits that suits every occasion. Locate Marbella Clothing on the stretch of the 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗘 Christian Village opposite the Paradise School, and there you can find all your attires that will suit your taste and then your preference.
All right, say Timmy Akle clothing lines in there. Our concentration is coming on you right now.
Sure.
This morning is a great morning. Howbeit wet in most geographical areas of this great country called Ghana, but from us, I have reiterated that we are bringing you warmth. With the ma ayeshi. Ye beko de so na ye boy ye de ni mo onim said ye no nsem a e wo internet so ye hwe bi gu so na afi akode bon krata mu na ye si no na poso. What are the people saying will bring to you? But remember, at the tail end of this, there is that tripartite conversation where we meet you up. Utimi frɛ na afei oni edi nkomo de afei so unim sɛ ye clear no nyina wi ayekɔhwɛ yapomodene we go to the insurance corner, and today we are having an up close with the Youth Development Ministry of the Methodist Church Ghana. Unim sɛ asam kɛseɛ so ane ebisa all the fearless and all the thought-provoking questions, and I Osofo Adzika will meet them up and quiz them over some very important issues of our church. Oye mabunu na owo yasore mu a. Today is the day you must be behind your phones, because I know most of you will be going to work, but still some few minutes and be on Facebook with us as we discuss matters of the Great Methodist Church Ghana. All right, ye try ye ho aba. Ye ba ye atena se. Wo ba tashi ni wo Kenya agbasane. Wo ba bole wo hifio ni wo ba. See you soon.
Hooray! Sesede Methodist University College Ghana. Yenya presidential charter. Inti Freye Methodist University Ghana. Inti yene upe baby pa abo abodini enya nguma suamu nimdie padia. Admission no 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. Postgraduate, undergraduate, diploma and certificate programs be to say nursing, educational assessment and evaluation, guidance and counseling, psychology, economics, HRM and management studies, marketing and supply chain management, communications, IT, accounting, social work, port and shipping management, and a PhD in education. Dia order for Methodist University Ghana. Nanika Same Womune say, what's the candidate today? Or 30% discount. And a 30% discount. Any Methodist, a sorry menina. Shushayan campuses nibi, our dansuman, Sama, Wenchi, national song, say our day, any evening, import weekend sessions from Ponso, our mature entrance exams, so 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. Ain't it true? CA, na admission 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏. Ain't Shabubiano, for 0558-309059. And now acquire website www.mug.edu.gh. MUG, the rich brand, Meth UG. We have the zeal to educate.
KFK Foods is an award-winning world-class restaurant with over 10 years experience in both local and continental dishes. We render services for parties, cafeteria services for schools and hospitals, individuals, corporates and institutions, as well as groups who want to treat their partners to delicious meals and services. We have all local and international dishes, including banku with tilapia, fufu with light soup, fried rice with grilled or fried chicken, assorted fried rice, fish with chips, noodles and spaghetti, pizzas, pastries, shawarma, beef and chicken sauces. All kinds of breakfast baskets in Accra. Locate us at the Ambassadorial Enclave on the first floor of the Wesley Towers at 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. In Tema, locate us at Community 25 Annex, where the event center is located at 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. from Monday to Sunday. For all orders, call us on 0244-637647 or WhatsApp us on 050 331753. KFK Foods, you deserve it. Do you need quality and professional ministerial attire? Be it cassock, clerical shirts, stoles, preaching gowns, preaching bands, wedding gowns, and sanctuary vestments, then your best destination is the Methodist Investments and Properties Limited, MIPL. Individuals and churches can also contact MIPL for their African wear, both male and female, curtains, church or institutional anniversary clothing, Friday wears, mufflers, diaries, liturgy books, souvenirs, badges, Lacoste and t-shirts, among others. MIPL produces natural fruit juice such as ginger, pineapple, mango, millet, banana, as well as specially prepared ginger powder to boost your daily vitality. MIPL Property Management is also available to both individuals and corporate institutions in managing your property and providing investment solutions. Locate MIPL office at the Grant House inside Adzika, Accra for your businesses at affordable prices, or call us on 0242 122 787. If you are looking for an office space which is spacious with a car park, 24-hour security, standby generator, then look no further. The Grant House building is up for rent and is located adjacent the Holy Spirit Cathedral, Accra. Call us on 0242 122 787.
Nana ye, Ediana mihui, enemrim, and now water kakadro pepperin sia, now aquaco tree.
So for me, said you me pemedi and in your natural. No, me this spice so.
I wina kakadro garlic, rinsia, nina spices, a kakadro, garlico, a dear, and a yaki boom. Nay, dear, Sankofa natural spices.
Oh wow, the son I can see you now. And you may have hit me. Hey, direct, you know, any day, muchu, a free natural, Sankofa natural spices, and one you use 100% natural. Said the Epenum.
Out of 4, Mamunya huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. Didi
FDIG ejedi nkratu yatu.
All right, Ashefo say a 100% natural. They are not programming, so a 100% natural. It's time for Dero. So we are on. If you are on, just blink an eye. Just blink an eye. Blink an eye. Blink an eye. A TV nibi who say you are ready with that. All right. So Miss Na, let's take our first story.
Okay. So So some oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of petroleum products. At the pumps, the Shell is selling a liter of petrol and diesel at 14 cedis 84 pesos. Market leader Goil is also, however, selling a liter of petrol for 14 cedis 60 pesos from its old price of 14 cedis 55 pesos. Diesel is going for 14 cedis 75 pesos, up from the previous price of 14 cedis 70 pesos. Goil's price is lower compared to Shell. Now, persons close to Goil have said that the adjustment is due to the 0.05 peso increase in the Unified Petroleum Price Fund margin. The National Petroleum Authority has directed industry players to increase the margin from June 1, 2024. Some oil marketing companies have explained that prices at the pumps would have remained unchanged if the UPPF margin had not gone up. More oil marketing firms are expected to increase their price at the pumps. Analysts have questioned the decision and rationale behind NPA's directive to increase the UPPF margin. This is because the price of crude oil has been dropping on the world markets, which some observers say should have reflected in the prices at the pumps. In addition, some observers and civil society organizations have argued that the consumer should have enjoyed a sharp drop in prices if the cedi was stable against the dollar.
All right, Ashafo, some be about Betodra Adzika. Isane say, Ojama no crude, fango ye jina so efete ni enya fango edigu ye kamu no. Akwakoba ne say Ojama so de ekofom, but oba Ghana dia ene pomp ne de mze bebre na nti na ye ka say fuel prices amma ne homene so kosi say petrol ama ne homene so diesel ama ne homene so o hwekra na ebem say 14.84 de ebem say be bibira obekọ no ama ne homene so nti akoba ne say god ye nhwehwemu no na god de omunum say god de nka Ghana Oil Marketing Limited omode nka moye Ghana for de aban nkasa ensa ehechiri but omuso kro mama omhomene so eno na akoba ne say nhwehwemu ne kire say yesi cedi yasemu ya kosuru ne dollar no eno na ama say yentimi ente so no nanka koba ne say nka akọ fom ewo edwama so de nka say Ghana so nka timi kofom nanso mu nim say de dollar yi said ye afei so no to a eda fan no so munyina munim say MP edi ntumu bi aba ntumu say na asem keka o ye beto ye nto ebopini MP so ye nhye da ento but sam radio aba beto dwa say omudi atumu nti ama fan na sama ne hono so nti ye ne ukọ pompo a o hwa liter water ton ni sika kro na bo se ebeba fom enti enye pump no ana asai na afa enye fuel attendant nso na owia wo entuo bi ana yatomu isa atuo bi ababeda so ene said the dollar no so or ye fluctuation. All right, so we want to move to our next story and now.
So yesterday we read a story here, but the Electoral Commission has reversed its directive to prevent political party agents from observing a voter transfer exercise. In a memo to its district offices on Sunday, June 2, the Electoral Commission directed that agents of political parties must not be allowed access due to violent clashes at some of the transfer centers. This sparked widespread criticism from various political parties and civil society organizations. They argued that the directive was a breach of the democratic process and could potentially lead to irregularities in the transfer of votes. The flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, in a Facebook post said the EC's decision points to attempts to collude with the governing New Patriotic Party to rig the upcoming December 7 polls. But the EC at a press conference on Tuesday, June 4, announced the reversal of the decision. Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations at the Electoral Commission, 𝗟𝗓𝗘𝗘, said the decision to reverse the ban was taken following extensive deliberations.
All right, EC say the waye city pa isane say the IPAC ekano. Odru baby a wo de ye ejuma pa. Isan say beto dwa nansen na EC eka senka voter transfer se owo baby na opese ode baby a to aba no eko baby fofora otumi ko na okoko kachrom no moyem akoba ne se yisika se nti amanyokuo mumfa munipa mra no mmhwe de ekoso no ye na yete se menteme ho ase bebrebi koso yete kaso ade ana yisi ankasa esan de krata ba bonten se o mamanyokuo no emma ho biemu ma mehwe eno na ndc for do ma no tumu ye papa John Dramani Mahama ekra ka say we boapayo bi a yisi peso ye fakuntu na se na transfer no transfer ni nyina eko MPP for side Fifi Kwete so ede na no etumu bi ora general secretary eno na akwakoba ne say nyom nko a civil society for bebre ede o manu atum yisi say okay ekra se maka so menwe ye enti se say de wayi sa tabo no say se obi abetimi ede na manuku akwa jina ho ti say observers so say agents so now you have the permission to do that, but please remember You don't have to do things that will mar the process. Okay, so let's go to the camp of the AG. Accusations flying all over.
Again. So the Attorney General, 𝗦𝗏𝗘 𝗿𝗲𝗍𝗏, has spoken for the first time publicly over accusations that he's engaged in witness tampering and fabrication of evidence in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial. The opposition NDC, which released an audio of a supposed conversation between the Attorney General and the third accused person in the case, believes Mr. Dame is bent on jailing the minority leader, Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗏, the first accused person at all costs. Speaking to journalists after Tuesday's hearing on the ambulance procurement trial, Mr. Dame stated that despite the traps being set against him by his adversaries, he is confident he will ultimately prevail. He emphasized his unwavering commitment to his duties and asserted that he will not be intimidated by these challenges. The Attorney General expressed his determination to continue performing his responsibilities with integrity, regardless of the opposition he faces.
You 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗏 Dame aneka say, oh yeah, Attorney General na nansi and same beto the ever infamous ambulance trial na owura Jakpa kase wafrefre no holy hour bia mankomodidie bia kokokokoko so ye kan sem bebre eto 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗏 Dame so eno na akwakoba ne se afedie owura 𝗏𝗏𝗏 me Attorney General ede nanu atum bi o se hwe matamfo munyumani se mehwe ase a me kra me hwe ase me gina me na so twitwe esane sensem bebra mode to me so na nyampa na bibie ni a me so yebedu court ho na de ewu mu no me so maka na emum de mo ka se nka mentena ase na mema asam ne nkoso me Attorney General o mampanin ka se me kotena ase nti me gina me na so pa me hwe na ensem didie no bibia kwa akoto bibia yeseto. All right, so in the issues of accusation, we want to continue with another story that is still accusation galore. All right, let's go.
So in a related development, Richard Jakwa, the third accused person in the ongoing ambulance case, has challenged the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, 𝗦𝗏𝗘 𝗍𝗏𝗍𝗏, to appear in court and refute the allegations he has made against him. Mr. Jakwa has accused Mr. Dame of witness tampering and fabricating evidence, claims which are detailed in a phone conversation that has been publicized. Mr. Jakwa insists that the case should be tried in court and not in the public sphere. He is calling on the Attorney General to present his evidence to support his assertions in court. Addressing the issues of the leaked tape authenticity, Jakwa has dared anyone disputing it to produce their own tape to counter his.
You na yefri owura 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Dame ehwa na yeko owura Jakpa ho ono na eka se emra de eye court na kyerɛkyerɛ emra mu court ne di mra nti untumi enyina eye radio so ana TV so enka se o ka court asem to o ka se owura 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Dame de o ka nyina se eye wa enye wa tape no ya twe bi aka ho ya doctor bi said ye tie bia no eye court ne betimi enti bra court se wunsura bra court na eba be yiwa no esane se me de owura Jakpa menim se me wonyina so pa me de ama ma lawyer fo a edu court a me di nkunum enti we de enye de ye ka wo radio so ne TV so na mum bra na yenkonko di nsem no tie nyina yenim se nyame adom next week de ejabo ejabeba na fe yakwa akodi ensem. All right, okay, all right, so when we discuss these matters we will express our various views na fe yahwe exactly what court is going to do tomorrow. Na also so betimi akemi but nyina said your mind no be koso ntina yedi enkomo. All right, so let's move on.
So we'll look at issues surrounding the National Cathedral and the Vice President.
Yes, is talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Vice President, Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, has called on the clergy to collaborate with government to find a way forward in completing the controversial National Cathedral project. Speaking at a meeting with the clergy in the Greater Accra region, Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 emphasized the importance of the project for Ghana. He stressed the need for the church to unite and engage with governments to explore ways to secure private resources to complete the project. Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 expressed optimism that a collective effort can find a solution, saying if we all come together, we will figure it out. The building of the cathedral is in fulfillment of a pledge President 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 claimed to have made to God before winning the 2016 elections. The 500 the 5,000-seat auditorium cathedral projects will be bequeathed to the country a glorious and gracious national park for all Ghanaians, bringing new skills, technology and jobs to the country and acts as a beacon of national, regional and international tourists.
You asofo binomo ana Penny Abedi His Excellency Nana sorry Ora Baumia ene womushia na asofo bi afa omfon na selfie pa na omu etwa ohwe emfoni na etwegua but we dey nkenya selfie asem de amampani abedi etwe ene eka se osre sem bibira akoso efa National Cathedral ne ho abedoso na nyina enim se yesika sem ntia but opa cho senka asofo nyinara emfa omahoden enta ekiri na yenyina yemum osese yenyina yebum a yebenya solution ebetimi edesi onyankopon asodan onyankopon asodan ifrihe ene baaye ifri boshe bia owura Akufo-Addo ehye onyankopon se oboano na obega na mampania obisi asodan kese bi ahye ni din kronkron anonyam eno na besi ne amamwe ekona wieye akato ne bro na amamwe abana wieye nanso yensi asodan owura ba mi akasa asodan ye betimi esi ni nyina ne se asofo asorema ye nyina ye mum na tikuro nkwagina na afi suso praye wo hoyi se wuyi baako a ubu apa na bu na mum bebre de a ubu mu emu. Let's all together build the house of the Lord. All right, so
this is in relation to our question of the day. What should happen to the National Cathedral project? Yeah.
Okay.
So
let's go to STC na yenwe say benya car ni bi e dia ko Kumasi. All right, so what are the workers of STC saying?
Okay, so workers of the State Transport Corporation are fiercely resisting the appointment of a third deputy managing director, describing it as a waste of public funds. According to workers, the two deputies already at post are enough. They are therefore asking the corporation to prioritize acquiring more buses and settling some 6 million cedis in overdue pensions. In the petition, the workers explained that the company has operated without a deputy managing director for a considerable period, suggesting that the reduction in deputy managing directors will not adversely affect their operations.
All right, State Transport Corporation and say where the Jumaya 4 and Casa Isane say Nancy Omba letter say you may say the deputy managing director for Frabo na akoya secular no be a biada ubi a table so and no Juma force or mobo enyo Omoyamukra Esane said deputy managing director the Juma Mresantin Kusim Mresantin ye manage ye saying here another managing director and Omaka say Nkrofo bebre akọ pension yen sheda kren tuo musika ye ka ye de wo nti aden na nka ye ma ye ni nkoho na nka ye ntua omo enti no mo ka se de ehu ehia akra esane se omu hia managing director bim ti omo de ko jan bi akọ omodanim baby anka deputy managing director ne betena no maka se yem pene so ehu hia kura se ye besan enya bibisa. Right, so with that now you want to go to the last story.
Yes, and we'll take you to Nigeria, where the main labor unions have shut down the national electrical grid and disrupted flights across the country as they began an indefinite strike over government's failure to agree a new minimum wage. The strike is the fourth embarked upon by the Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, two of the country's biggest union federations since President Bola Tinubu took office last year. The Transmission Company of Nigeria said on Monday that the union members drove operators away at power control rooms and shut down at least 6 substations, eventually shutting down the national grid at 2:19 a.m. Nigerian Airline said it was suspending flights until further notice due to the strike, while another United Nigeria said airports across the country has been shut down and striking workers had permitted none of its flights to operate.
Yo intinka Ghana had yanke ebefreno Ghana Great Company said Ora doctor engineer SF Kofi ebechirichiri mo Nigeria na we nti omo de ne de Nigeria's power grid na kwa akoba ne say adwumayefo ati etua atonte su koko akire aban se nyoma bibiri ho a omani enye ho ne koba ne sandi ama eye Nigeria we mu hyen so se enya de obetimi aye adwuma esan se omo na ehwe se nyoma totoye bekoyi e wo airport se wo ko na wo ba na adwumayefo a omo Nigerian Power Grid Company say omo atena asia na kire se disruption de bibiri disruption ni bibiri nti no omo so omo kase ankoba ne sa omo so omo de omudwumadie ebe to ho na de yedi free Nigeria so abremuni se koba ne sa de na ye free Nigeria san ba betena ye Ghana because ye you baby a ko baby. All right, so we are here in Ghana and early this morning, you know, we are noted for bringing you the dailies. And we are going to Mesna to give us what is from the papers. Please take over.
So good morning once again to all our viewers, and from the papers is here. This will bring you all the headlines on the major newspapers across the country. And of course, we are going to start off from the Daily Graphic. And the Daily Graphic says that truth and accuracy every day. Lecturers, government agree on unified pay structure. The story starts on the front page and continues on page 6 of the paper. 73%, green Ghana trees survive. That is from the minister. The story is on page 13. Ghana supports calls for change in global financial system. That's from the foreign minister. The story is also on page 14 of the Daily Graphic. And so this morning, if you are to buy a Daily Graphic, these are some of the stories you would find in the Daily Graphic. We'll move to the Daily Guide newspaper, and it says Ghana's favorite newspaper. Major one here, basic schools transformed, Edichum. The story is on page 3. Page 6 says Ghana chiefs endorse 𝗟𝗏𝗘 and votes transfer. EC lifts ban on party agents. Find the story on page 6. Page 15 says that Kufuor is Kenpong Academy patron and I will flee their traps. And this is coming from the Attorney General 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗿. So you find this picture here, and the story is on page 3 of the Daily Guide. We'll move to the Ghanaian Times newspaper, the most authoritative one. It says 2 ex-soldiers, 9 others jailed 252 years over robbery at gold company. The story is on page 3. Well, Green Ghana project, a major success. That is from the lands minister. Find the story on page 9. Page 8 says that President 𝗟𝗏𝗘 calls for deeper Africa-South Korea ties. And page 4 says that EC allows party agents to observe vote transfer. Find all these stories in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. We'll go on to the green-faced newspaper, the Chronicle newspaper. It says that 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏, and it says that Ejutchum catches attention of 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘, and the story is also on pages 2 and 3 of the paper. I will restore confidence in Ghana's economy, and that is coming from Alan Cash. Sustainable urban development is 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘's priority, and that is from Minister Dame Jakpa. Slug it out in court. You'd find all these stories in details in the Chronicle newspaper. Today newspaper, what does it say? And it says that bring back GN Bank goes global as Indom engages the world tomorrow over unjust revocation of license. The story is on page 3. Voter transfer. I am against EC's agents ban decision. The story is also on page 3. Page 2 says that SITAG lays down tools. Coming up, who rented out GN Bank office at Mutual, and the story is also here inside the Today newspaper. And so if you buy it, these are the stories you would find. The New Crusading Guide, it says that new dawn in public schools. Dr. Educhum is transforming old dilapidated designs classrooms to state-of-the-art ones. Government committed to sustainable urban development, and that is from the minister. Your capacity to help Ghana, doubtless Greater Accra House of Chiefs expresses confidence in 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗏, and Mahia secures injunction against 9 Ashalaja elders over land. President pushes for stronger Africa-Korea partnership at 2024 summit. The story is on page 10 of the paper. Godfrey Dami speaks on wicked traps, says righteousness will always prevail over evil. The story is on pages 3 and 10 of the New Crusading Guide. Now the Accra Times. God will rescue Ghana. Mahama prays. The story is on page 12 of the Accra Times. Now page 5 says that Speaker Bagwin salutes John Tia as he is laid to rest. And Afenyo Markin blasts NDC, says they are hypocritical. The story is on page 2. The health sector crisis, Akanda and Mask Baumia. The story is also on page 2. 𝗟𝗡𝗏 takes over NPP over 5G spectrum deal. The story is on page 3. You find a picture of Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 and Honorable Esla 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 there on the Accra Times newspaper. The Informer newspaper this morning, it says that on law preventing party agents from monitoring votes transfers, Kodio backs 𝗟𝗏, and in this issue, 2 retired soldiers, 3 fetish priests, 6 others jailed 252 years. House of Chiefs commend Baumia for his humility and respect. Rawlings Foundation urges discipline in society as it marks June 4. On misinformation, negative rhetoric, and downright lies, Dan Butchie calls for clergy's intervention. Find that story on page 4 of the Informer newspaper. We'll move to the Daily Dispatch newspaper for today. It says Sapong on what President Mahama said at Cape Coast Stadium on August 14, 2016. Unprintable insult that EC chair creates a platform where when you lose, you can discredit the outcome. Midwife cautions against stimulating cesarean session. The story is on page 2 of the paper, so there's a health side on or inside the Daily Dispatch for today. Grab a copy and read those stories in details from there. We'll move to the Daily Post newspaper. Major one here says EC makes a U-turn, says party agents can observe voter transfer exercise. Stories are on pages 6 and 7 of the paper. Totobi storms High Court. You find the story there. We have a list of the number of voters NPP wants to transfer to particular constituencies, and that is coming from the NDC. So all these stories are in the Daily Post newspaper. We'll move to the Daily Statesman. Statesman says that sustainable urban development are goal. That is from the local government minister. The story is on page 2. 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 calls for strengthened Africa-Korea ties. And then Ghana chiefs express confidence in Baumia. Over 81% of green Ghana trees survive, and that is coming from the lands minister. It's all in the Daily Statesman newspaper for today, the Wednesday edition. Now we'll go to the Herald newspaper. The Herald newspaper says that the 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 government caught with Mahama's 5G promise in 2020 NDC manifesto. Minority appears confused. The story is on pages 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 of the paper. Ghana plants another 10 million trees on Friday. EC sacks lawyer in Peter Ameo's disputed 2020 victory. City TV turns Channel 1 TV. Okay. Witness coaching. Attorney General seeks refuge in God. State interest pops up in Adamus mining saga. And so you find all these stories in the Herald newspaper. Now we are coming to an end, but we'll go with the junior graphic for today, and it says that 2024 BEC tips in the junior graphic, and it is on pages 10 and 13 of the paper. And then excellence in education, that story is also there. Afronita and Abigail makes Ghana proud at British Got Talent, and provide counselors for reality shows contest. Clinical psychologist is saying this, and the story begins on the front page, the down part of the front page, and continues on page 3 of the junior graphic. That's it for all the papers for today, the Wednesday edition.
All right, so that will be it for now. Yeah, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗘.
Don't come here. don't call me. Ghana for Methodist Asafoma. WTV Enyamfianumo 5 years. Hooray! Na enam emfianuma fidida. WTV ADNT. Or yet don't call me promo. And say, so we are Methodist Asafoba. Now our business. And Juma Kubia Opeso Bomu Deura. WTV say, yeah, Baby Cat, Juma Kuno, and as we got on Diano. Ya Bomu Deura now watching me 2 weeks at the amount 500 Ghana cedis pay. And I'll bet ya. Way a Yakwanya. WTV Airfaso at the other was say, what time the chi? I'm my room Pempenswa and never dream. Yanuti, Methodist Asafoma, Mumaku, Amopesa Mubomu Deuru, Muntutumrika, Namumra, Fred WTV, Nani Penfoning Como, Emfa don't call me promo 0593 110733, and now WhatsApp 0256 253461. WTV, reaching out to the world.
There is always a story on the train of national discourse, a host of thorny issues begging intelligent analysis and unbiased scrutiny. But how do we interrogate these matters? Through the regular lens of partisanship or through a spectrum that focuses on the national good? The answer is the latter, and that is why the state is here. Here on the state, we turn our backs on the political gimmicks, ignoring the endless propaganda and opening our doors to honest and critical assessments on all matters of national interest. Our focus is to generate compelling solutions to the litany of problems in education, politics, health, governance, the economy, and all other areas of national life. We also bring you closer to the narratives on the streets, bringing you up to speed with the voices of ordinary men and women who cannot be heard. It's a platform of truth, objectivity, and impactful Christian-centered engagement designed to better the lot of all and sundry. Join me, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, this and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Wesleyan TV for this all-new current affairs program. For sponsorship, please call 059 311 0733 or 025 625 3461. The State, probing the issues, digging the solutions.
Wesleyan TV, reaching out to the world.
More about WTV Jumania. So WTV is open information, open education, open transformation, anything good. We know WTV show. So if you are soon, rather than so I did Jumania for not some clinic at the brow. Radia some nurse, say a dear Radia some pejanipa, Radia some mark quanchero, Upa quanchera pa. It is the word of God. And none of the brow Jumania, Yatin D, not some clinic. Clinic can say Radia some no, say a dear Radia some near bro. Radia some mark quanchera, a summoner and Fitiasiano, Radibo, we are see a Diana in the hawk, Radina not some man and buy. Number is to God is still in the creative business. Or the student not some Emma dia in the hawk Emma the bar. Or Casa Pombrana Pobai, or Casam Patabram and Patabai, and I'm not some sure. Some no waking and muddy in the hawk at me. So I some winter Yosubayan, Jalo, Casa Win years over Nantiaco Fee, or see Jina Hana Suma Samon, a Saman Baka Casame Badia dear. I call her as we woo, and she has to dinner baby or one of Suma Samna, some Casabo friendly a dear Pejano. Sunny Bajana TV if you dare so, you smell Radia some about fear about Juma Bow Clock, some of the Yato from the Ashia say, some of the Bayo year necessio. The Bajana Diamo, a Bajana Yahoo, a smell Radiasam, now some of the Baba saw ya, dear son of Baba Jonka, some of the Moa Quanchre, Upa Quanchra pa, the way, not some, no, I just saw clinic, as some of the Bayo ye, as some way, Bayan Radiam, says you. Na Yamia Duma. If you do Busumi, Yawa the beer and the Mre or Kenafa, and say you made a bubble, why is it? Within any very reverend Dr. Solomon Bruce, Secretary of Synod, Siana Dowses, and this age made you at the broad the meeting is Radisha, Bayesha, or Bayesha.
This is the new Wesley Towers. It is a state-of-the-art office space located in the Ambassadorial Enclave, Accra. The property comes with a main entrance foyer with a classic central chandelier lighting. Our 13-passenger elevator with an air diffuser and a display screen for all your outfits will surely take you to the auditorium. At the Wesley Towers is a 500-seater auditorium for all your events. It's fully soundproof with a centralized air conditioning system. Our line of speakers, MCR, LED screens, and LED stage lights are fully in place. After an eventful day in our auditorium, you are sure to feel refreshed in the spacious 200-seater capacity roof terrace with a pergola in place. With 100 available car parking space, this new edifice is safe and secured with our security systems in place. Over 100 camera points and car parking control system. We have washrooms, restaurant, and an on-site clinic. Book our conference rooms for your corporate meetings whilst admiring the water fountain synchronizing with colorful lighting and music. Wesley Towers is designed to make you feel safe, offering you the needed luxurious space. It comes with affordable pricing package. Please contact for details and inspection. 0503 109 978 or 0500 166 304 or 0556 302 880 0243 614 423. Wesley Towers, offering you a safe, secured, luxurious space.
Kenya bafata wo ke ha dero niji enyono ni bi ene ke wo gbele saje amini agbene wo bi dwemochomo ke chohie ke agbene nga wo fi o ke chohie wo ba gbele yibo e hu ko ni nye hu nyenyenye twa kenye dwemochomo hu e bafata ke ha wo so
all right yedamase se mone yen ewo efidie so anope yenimu se ensuo no baby peti baby so topa. And so we know that for some it is a wet morning. But as I said, we bring you that warmth that will give you what it takes to mitigate the rather cool nature of a wet morning. Now, anope yedi abramo se uko pump na uko koto petrol, uko to diesel la. Ubehu se sika nka no na ode otwa liter ubenyamu se liter no akofom so na sika no eye baako na entumu bi aba na ne pese ye kiremu kakra esane se enye oil marketing companies ni nyinara ana omo enya no sa na eye enyoma miensa ana ye kinkan eye story ede abring. We want to take our time and break this matters into pieces. The first one now, you want to take the story again. So it appears there are three main dimensions of this story. I'm trying to get it here. Right, so the first issue will be the Unified Petroleum Price Fund. And the other one is the issue of the dollar, CD depreciation against the dollar. So we want to bring these two dimensions to our view. Said the bay for mobeti ase. Itina ye kase anope okona okwakoto eye fan wo de gu kamu ase wo ye trotro se wo ye ankrankro be mu se sika no de wo de to no eno na ade be ma eye pump ra no de obu no but o liter ne de wo se e ko from kakra. And so let's take it from that point of some marketing companies who have started increasing their prices. And again, we are bringing to your notice that it's not all of it. Not all the marketing oil companies.
So with the first part of the story, it says that the NPA explained that the revision of the margin is necessary to ensure stability and sustainability of the fund for efficient distribution of petroleum products across the country. So based on the directive, the margin on diesel and petrol have been increased by 0.05 Ghana cedis to 0.90 Ghana cedis. So and then the second one, so the update on that story is that some oil marketing companies have increased the prices of petroleum products at the pumps. Some are selling at 14 cedis 84 pesos. Others are also selling at 14 cedis 60 pesos from the old price of 14 cedis 55 pesos.
All right, and so the emphasis is on the fact that this directive is from the NPA, and NPA has directed that industry players should increase the margin, and this margin is supposed to have happened from the 1st of June. Now, you will well be notified if you're a regular viewer of the show that we brought to you the fact that tariffs are already on the ascendant. There are some increases. People are calling it marginal increases, but you see, when it comes to tariffs, even if it's a 0.1 or a 0.2, it still is very big. Yan can be anshim ana necessary to say ye farm also so asamba be pay ya pempemu account, and so it appears the consumer is.
But you see, really, even before this came to light, it is expected that this week the price of petroleum products would have gone up. That is a normal thing that we would have expected. But with this current UPPF thing, it has probably come a little earlier than expected or than anticipated.
Well, against the backdrop, the analysts have questioned this because of the decrease in crude oil prices. That's where the contention is. So if there is a decrease, crude oil na eno ana yeno na yenya fan woni free mu no say edwama so na aba from de ne oba Ghana ha na yese ye de ye fan no ya tomu a, I think it gives a cause for worry, but we are saying that it hinges on two major platforms. The first is that directive from the NPA, and the second is the fact that the dollar appears to be dancing like a leaf that is falling. Well, yesterday in the evening there was some marginal surge on the dollar, but I had asked some people to check from the market if prices were increasing or decreasing, and I was shocked to know that
it has increased.
It has not just an increment, but such
a surge in price.
It was such a huge increment. I mean, if you have an increment,
are you surprised about it?
No, I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I can't be surprised. It's just the fact that the consumer who is watching us now hasn't gotten an increment in his or her salary.
But no, but you see, the issue here is that water, electricity, and then we come back to petroleum products. These are the main drivers of goods and services, because you cannot have goods in your warehouse without electricity. You cannot have workers working in your warehouse or in your production house without water. Now you cannot have your products seated at the production site without it being transported from that point to the retailer or the wholesaler.
Well,
and so that brings us the fact that this thing is going to affect all of us, all aspects of our lives. There will be increment in every aspect. And so we should all brace ourselves for it.
Ashefo na de ye kano ene se fango na yatum no enioma mienu na ne mpompon so pa ba ko de na nka eye tuo bi a MP e de ama se eye wo mo a womo ekoto fango no eton ema yenya bia wo pompo de from oil marketing companies no eto obi anke ye de aba se obi amfa ntotototototototo eye ne fango so enyo mu nyina na ayo de but adisam no ne pompo so no eye dollar na entimi nyina no enti se nka ya de a eye fango aye ton ye nyina anim se eye de etwe fango efiri mo ye crude oil no ye nyina anim se aba from. But apart from that, $1 no any stable, that's $1 no cost road there. any about me so no fango no so be cause reason say one ye ejuma nyina all those who are in the petroleum value chain no they use dollar for their purchases enti ebia edwama so de okoye ebia nanka yate so every 20 about 10 ba wo so ye cd bebrebe na wo de kwakoto eye dollar kitu ebi no na ama so ba na odibi toto so sa but well if you have an experience of such your friend you may want us to know what your experiences are, but these are not good moments for Ghanaians, especially when employers have not increased in any shape or form what are either stipends, remunerations, or salaries. So that is what it is. But we also want to move straight away to the EC, whilst we...
The EC taking a U-turn? On the issues?
You call it a U-turn?
Yeah, because this is not the first time the EC is taking a U-turn. And it looks like the EC listens to members of the IPAC. I believe, I want to believe that the EC actually listens to whatever is discussed or is being said at IPAC meetings and it's doing just according to what is expected to do. Because these are people you have to work with, whether or not you like it, you still work with all these political parties.
Well, you see, these are happy moments for democracy because if the people you work with can trust that when they make suggestions, you listen to them, then it is good for democracy. And just happy of the fact that one political party will not be of the view say EC is working for another political party, and for us here that is the most important, and we are so glad. And again, it also appears there is consensus. Once there is consensus, we are happy.
Agreement between all political parties.
If it appears to say it is only one person that is saying all this, then...
But I didn't like the fact that, I mean, yesterday when the EC came out to say that most of the agents or all the agents should back out of the transfer of vote exercise, and then some of the political parties started tagging the EC, saying that the process is the EC is doing this because it wants to rig.
Yeah, so that was
I didn't like that accusation. But currently, I'm excited that all political parties have come together. The EC has given another directive in that same light, and then they'll be calm in all centers. And we also hope that all political parties, if you have your agents, please speak to them when they go to these registration centers or the transfer centers. They should exercise restraint. They should be patient enough to listen to what others are saying. If you want to form a queue to join the queue for someone and the person is not there, please, when the person comes, let the person join the queue from behind, so that all these altercations and then the back and forth thing will be scrapped off.
All right, so we are here, but we get happy when we have our guest joining us, and so we are excited to welcome our brother 𝗟𝗓𝗏 Ankra.
Dromo, 𝗟𝗜𝗏𝗘.
On that nunchulation, we'll let you hit a bit on the increment in petroleum products before we come to EC. I don't know whether you have bought fuel this morning.
I have plans to after work, because in the morning rush you'll need to get to the office on your way back. It's not an exciting news at all. It's not exciting, and but what I am tempted to always look at is what leadership in this country is doing in times like this, because you know it is a global effect that we are having. Because I think, I don't know, but I can hazard a guess that current oil price on the global market should be selling around $78 per barrel.
That is actually
and when it happens like that, it affects a country's GDP. What policies do we put in place in times like this? Because this 5 pesos increment that people have asked that
now it's 90 pesos.
Yeah, it's just 5 pesos. So initially it was 85. So when the 5 adds to it, it makes 90.
Yeah.
It's going to affect every petroleum product, and we live in a system where you know that petroleum price increment affects pure water, affects chewing stick,
Yes, but you see, more critically is the fact that, and duly mentioned, crude oil on the world market has reduced. It has dropped. Let's even imagine it is so. The issue with the analyst here in Ghana is dollar. See, dollar. So once dollar is increasing, then everything cascades.
Everything. And you know the value of RC. I always try to jump to the defense and give credit a little bit to our people who sit day and night to think around the financial, because they look at the numbers and see what they are going to do. So I always believe that they are at work trying to see how the situation can be solved. But the timing is my issue and problem.
You mean the
timing of the increment of this 5% on petroleum product? You know, some of the people who work in that space, these transporters, operators, and all that, are advising that they are in there and they see what is in there. They are saying that, of course, you are increasing for sustainability's sake, but it could have been held on for now. You know, our system in Ghana, it will be held on now, but definitely it will be released in future. But then now, the heat in the system, you could have held on to this 5% increment. That is their people. They are very people. The people who do the transporting of the oil and all those people who determine that space, they are saying that. So it is not a welcoming news. Because we'll start, you see the mates start fighting with passengers, and then you hear all that. Yes, some of us will have to park our vehicles. You see, and
we've had this increment, or the transport fares increased in less than a month or two. And so going to come back to the fact that we have to increase it again. And you see, the last one that happened, some have added more than even 1 cedi to their initial amounts that people were paying in church.
Yes, but now we've had it in a week. It has gone like 3 or 4 times in this country. We've had the shocks every now and then. We have the shocks every now and then. Yeah, so it is actually something that maybe we of faith. Aside
we have to pray about it.
Yes, because
something happened last 2 days, which for people who invest in dollars, they thought they were losing, but all of a sudden, yesterday, the dollar started moving up again. So from about 16 Ghana cedi to $1 in some of the forest bureaus, it dropped up to 14.2. And then just yesterday, it has pushed up to 14.6. So it started going again. So we're wondering why the sharp decrease and
drop, and then suddenly
one analyst jokingly said, "We penifo no musika ni gu baby no mo de aba be gu omo di dwani wi a no mo wi musika no." This is allegedly, but it appears living conditions are getting poorer, are getting dire, but authorities appears not to be doing anything about it. I have a problem with authorities. Can you help us? Can you go into the mind of the authorities today?
If you say they don't seem to be doing anything,
they seem. They appear not.
I believe they are. I believe they are. I believe they are.
We are not seeing it in our salaries. We are not seeing anything because there are no increments in these aspects. Yes, there are increments in other aspects of our lives.
It's done annually and based on economic conditions and indicators. So
are these not economic conditions?
But you don't just increase salaries every now and then as you go on.
But you can increase every other aspect of our lives.
You see, when you don't produce, when you don't control the factors of the economy, then you have to bow to pressures, external pressures that come, and that is where we are. That is why, as a country, people tell you, can we look at manufacture? Can we look at industrialization? Can we look at other things rather than depending? We import almost everything in even the dollars that we are talking about. Recently, Governor of Bank of Ghana is warning these people growing up with forest bureau people and black market people. I'm sure our people saw that there could be a loophole in that area.
Why the dollar is to arrest most of the black markets.
It was one of the strategies they were trying to deploy to see that the dollar doesn't fly the way it is flying. So they are doing something. We can hope for more, but you know, in times like this, also for you and I, and now we know, if the hand of flesh is failing us, We can call on the God of Ghana.
Let's call on God as we discuss EC's issue. All right, so the EC has also made a U10.
Also for the EC's U10, I have a problem with state institutions when we do so many U10s. Every now and then, I think now I alluded to it. What informed the directive in the first place? The fact to say, in the limited registration, there were violence all over the place. Even last Sunday, somebody had been stabbed. So, okay, is it that because we have allowed the parties to more or less monitor or be part of the process, that is why? And I think that decision was taken hastily at their management level, I would see, without enough consultation. Because the reason they are giving is that after extensive deliberations you ask yourself, what happened before that decision? Deliberations could have gone on. The political parties and civil rights organizations and all those are major stakeholders. It doesn't only go to EC. The other time, Ministry of Finance also issued a statement and they had to go back. Stakeholder engagement is very, very crucial and important in everything that we do.
The EC didn't have the stakeholder consultations with all.
I don't think at their last IPAC meeting they agreed that it was that decision, I'm sure, was taken on the spur of the moment because of the violent pockets of violence. So IPAC, they had consulted again, they had met, they allow them, because what is the implication? Do we trust the system? And some of the political parties started alleging that EC will transfer illegally to the advantage of the ruling government. It is not a new language. Every election year, if you are in opposition, you speak that language. Let MPP be in opposition. They will say the government is in bed with the electoral commission of the day. There are so many reasons that lead to that. Because if a government appoints an electoral commissioner, the opposition will use it as political capital, political tool. So, stakeholder engagement is critical in the decision of any policy that affects the people.
Well, you see, it is fair enough when a state institution like the EC becomes democratic and listens to everybody. You see, but they must still have the discretion to apply the rules. You see, in the first place, there was a personal, well, I won't say a personal discretion, but it was EC's discretion to allow political parties to come observe when it's not enshrined in the acts of the EC. That we say it was their own discretion. But if EC sees that the notices are becoming too much, let them come in. Will we say it's a feather in their cap in being democratic?
Yes, so it was a good attempt. But we should be very sensitive to our political architecture and culture. This is a place that when you say this party A will say A, party B will say this party. So being the referee, before you come out, why don't you meet all of them? It's the same IPAC they have gone to, and they have come out to say that we reverse our decision. So what prevented us from starting with IPAC? I'm sure if they are all around the table, and even majority say that this is the way to go. If one person is disenchanted, say, we know that majority say, it is fair. Democracy, yes, it's your mandate. It is your discretion to allow or not. But the reality on the ground is that if you disallow, it will be chaotic. Do you say the law says
they don't have confidence in the EC because the first results when the voter registration exercise started, the figures were not tallying properly? Is it because
now if you have been part of the political struggle and we started with opaque ballot boxes to the transparent one and all that, it is a mantra, it is a language that every political party speaks. In opposition will speak that language. We are in 2028, you hear the same language. There's always been that element of trust issues, and always the party in government seems to praise the electoral commission. So it is a language, it's a own language.
Okay, but Adzika so basically we'll just move forward with that one. All right, let's go to Dr. 𝗏𝗏's appeal to the clergy. You are a clergy in the making. And
no, we should have asked the question of the day, so that he answers that.
No, all right. Okay. All right. So ask.
So our question of the day today is this: what should happen to the National Cathedral project? What should happen to it? Continue or discontinue?
Or stay where we are?
Personal opinion.
Personal opinion on behalf of my family.
No, personal opinion.
Yes, I think personally, as new to Ankara, it was a very laudable project, a laudable initiative. My challenge was that we didn't have a plan. The strategy we didn't consider.
Well, it didn't have a plan because it was a personal promise
by the president.
Yes,
by the president.
Yes.
And his handlers or people around him could have come that we need a roadmap. There should be a strategy. My challenge is using state resources to fund it is problematic. I believe that the number of churches we have in this country, if Christian Council is to bring everybody Pentecostal and we say we will build, maybe it will not be as magnificent as this, but would have built our own cathedral. Looking at, I am a people's person. The timing, we don't have. I have always hazarded again. When we were building National Theatre, people complained. When we were building Conference Center, people complain. Anything you build, people will complain, and people must complain.
But the National
as a leader,
is more than 30 years. So.
Yes, we even thinking of building again. The cathedral, looking at what it was set off to do, it would have served a very useful purpose for our state functions and other things. But the management of it. So if you ask me, we can hold on when the economy is okay. And government can support.
Was such an open pit in the center of a city. Topographically, is it
also, you know these politicians who are going around making promises, these campaign people, these are presidential candidates. I hear one of them say that when he comes, he will make sure that we move the capital from Accra to towards Pram and the other, because Accra is choke. Now this is the capital. So if you have put the cathedral there, outside Accra.
Well, that was exactly not so though. So again, this is media trying to twist what was said. He said that some major institutions will be moved.
Yes.
Okay, so not moving the entire capital, but it could be, say, I made him mention a particular institution, but let's say Ministry of Agric moved somewhere.
Yeah, he was adding his voice to an age-long debate. We have debated it whether we should relocate the capital. The capital moved from Cape Coast to Accra. So is it time that we move it to another place? Well, so now he is just segmenting, not all, not some institutions.
Well, now that the sea is about to be dredged, maybe we'll let the
so the topography
Ministry of Fisheries go to Kumasi.
Go to Kumasi. You see, the topography, it is central, really. But you see, you look at all our states. Should I say social assets, National Theatre, Conference Center, are all
same enclave.
Exactly. I want to believe that was the wisdom behind that. Again, you ask that you pull down people's houses, people were living there, and to make room for. The land is there. Do we build on it? Do we build? So the cathedral
has said that there's an impending judgment debt to all those. But until we hear that, we will still say the politicians are still toxic. Anything that becomes political in Ghana might not work and might not get the neutral consent of most Ghanaians, because once you sit on TV and support the agenda for building the National Cathedral, you'll be tainted. And then once you go to the other side, now that you are saying we should hold on to the economy is good, I am tempted to think you are B.
Exactly. But it's a wonderful project that if we had been able to undertake, would have served a very useful purpose. Very, very wonderful.
Israel was being brought to Ghana.
You see, we even brought a cement block or stone just to come in. It's a laudable project, but some constitutions will say, if you have the capacity to do, then you can do, based on availability of funds. So the cathedral can remain on paper. Based on availability of funds, we can go. Alternatively, you see, the vice president was asking that the church should come forward, give us ideas. Could that be that there could be private sources of putting it together? You know, the challenge came with the state pumping our money into the cathedral. So without state support, can the private sector, can the churches, and of course business entities who think the project is viable, can say we'll put our money inside. So they are asking that we come and think whether private sources can put up the cathedral. So the cathedral concept is not going away.
So currently, what 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 the process
Oh yeah, she get it.
What the project is start school. Whether or not agency equally be no na boy blogger we can't tell.
Yes.
Okay. Although a good initiative, she can't machine. She can't catch lolo name make she years ago. New about then go back decide okay.
That she get me Ghana. I can feel no. She
okay agency to have like
agency. What about how you know agency get there?
Easy again we are only looking at the politicians, but even among the clergy, some of whom eminent ones who were on the board have resigned.
They've opted out.
Some with some rather disheartening letters.
Yeah.
Very disheartening. And will their church members allow them to come back, and will their church members contribute to this? The whole thing being tainted with allegations of corruption.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sourcing.
Yeah. So all those things were breached. That was what I was talking earlier about a strategy. Was there a strategy going forward? Don't forget that one was we supported the initiative. Yes, Methodist Church supported. We supported when it started. So one was
and we keep we are still supporting though, because there are still some circulars that come that ministers' pages all the time, either investing prayer or supporting.
Yes.
So we have not opted.
We have not opted. Yes. We we are a very strong force of the Christian Council, and we are a voice. So if we think the project, but we can't shoulder it, we will do all that. But like you said, we'll still support with our prayers. If we will all come together as the vice president is calling, private sector will come together and the project can see
with the position of the Methodist Church as reiterated by the presiding bishop. And again, I would have been happy if we had that voice inset to play to all our viewers.
You commented on it on the stage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That if we had that inset, would have played it right now, so everybody will know the position of the Methodist Church as reiterated by the presiding bishop. But in summing up, he has said that hey, it's a good project. We have invested into it as a church. We have contributed, but I think it needs some restructuring, going back to the drawing board and pushing a few buttons to make it work. So there is nothing like we are opting out. It's still a good project, but let's go to the drawing board. Koni hene kumo na ne kumo koni you know that kind of thing. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to
time call. Let's open the phone lines before we continue.
Sure.
So we've been discussing a lot of issues here. We've been discussing the National Cathedral project. We've also talked about the EC making a U-turn, and then of course the issue of the increased prices of petroleum products. So you can call 025-625-3461 and then 053-835-0625. Please, when you call, lower the volume of your television set. Let's have beautiful conversations.
All right. So I was coming to the last one, which I think will interest STC workers.
Good old STC.
Yes, who have had another deputy managing director, and
they said they'll keep knocking until the statement is the statement is revoked. So the man is called out of office. So they'll keep knocking.
Yeah. So they already have a number of managing directors. This possibly may appear a second one or two. A deputy.
Third deputy.
Okay. Deputy. And we are wondering why so.
You see, I have this affinity or love before STC. You remember that when I started, I said good old STC.
You see, I said
I love STC. I will prefer STC any day, because growing up, that was the only bus on the streets, and so for safety, and I lived in Tamale, so traveling every now and then, STC is mine.
All right, let's go on.
Let's go to Kumasi. Hello, honorable Quarcoo citizen. Good morning. Good morning.
This na yes. Really, I don't pay my mention money more phone.
Okay.
I can't be saying easy. A conduct, you know. Naturally, the party in opposition will always have issue with the activities of the EC. And how are you conducting a honor? Omo can we ne what channel omo be can we omo the figures we ba channel omo be changing no. Emma omo juma no say the question mark na e won air doors ye besre. And we are in a critical time. So EC should be mindful of how it conducts its activities. We are pleading with them. We are pleading with them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for that contribution. The other time you said I cut you off. I'm sorry. I think he was talking and then I was told to, say thank you, but we are sorry about that. Thank you.
All right. So back to STC.
Yeah. So I'm saying that what is happening at STC, ideally, it is a purely managerial or management thing, a governance issue at STC, but it impinges on the rights of the staff, which will affect those of us who patronize the service of STC. Why will you add another deputy? We already have 2 deputies. Forgetting that additional personnel has cost implication. This person, deputy director, has entitlements. He has entertainment allowance. He has all allowance. He has salary. This can be used to. Their argument is that the buses, operational buses, are falling off. It's dwindling. We used to have 145.
There are some pensioners
who have about money. Exactly. 6 million. About 6 million arrears over. You have not paid, and then 145 buses left with 39.
Oh.
On the road, good one, 145 to 39. This recruitment, that quantum, salary with all its entitlements and can't we invest it into
when
other things?
STC started, they were doing so well. I mean, their third world war. I mean, STC has gone through a lot of restructuring. That third major restructuring, which came with the MPP having Nana Komia manage it.
Yes.
Was doing so well.
Exactly.
But all of a sudden.
Before Nana Komia, this man, I always want to lend credit and credence to the God rest his soul, Miyama Donko. Miyama Donko came, as for me, STC is my home. I use STC a lot. He revolutionized STC.
I enjoy sitting in those buses and the other ones. I don't want to mention
Miyama Donko came and they started wearing uniform and we had Wi-Fi. Within a short space, that guy had Midas touch, devoid of political coloring. He did very well. And Akomia came and he continued. Good work. I am hearing this as a shock, as a surprise, that fleets of buses are breaking down, and then we think at this material time, employing deputy, not strategic person who is even coming to tell us that this is the way to go, but to come and add to the list of managers. Manage what? The buses are not there. Who are you managing? Pension, who are you coming to manage?
Management has said that because COVID was a major blow to most sectors in Ghana, they were having a lot of their inflows from their international travels, and once that was cut off by COVID,
yes,
it has been a major blow. But the question analysts are asking, how did COVID affect the buses which are off the road?
COVID came 4 years ago. It's been 4 years after COVID-19.
Yeah.
So you can't keep telling us the same thing you said in 2020 or 2021. Post-COVID started after 2020. So a year after. 4 years down the line, and you're telling us that it's still COVID.
I think it's a managerial problem for probably most of us Ghanaians, and I get a little careful when we discuss some of these things on air, because you see, I ask myself, see, sometimes when you're on air, and before coming on air, I'd always accused presenters and journalists that you don't portray holiness when you know there are a lot of cotton wool somewhere. Meanwhile, you are jumping on the fire. See, so we are asking ourselves, is this a general problem of the entire country? Because anything that is built for nation deteriorates over a period of time. All right, fireman. Fire.
Yeah, so for Nyamiasun Yankamu.
And can what fire STC that?
But okay.
What's an STC Mudana?
But all day, Muda.
Hey, fire one pa. Okay, you.
Me no normally I me to play na me fan na me to go.
Oh.
Into my fire National Cathedral no.
Yo, it's you.
Se baumia abekasa se ya. Oye mia minipa. Me di baumia hu ya. Asofufuo asori ewo Ghana nka so mbesi National Cathedral. Akufo-Addo na wusi woni nyame apapam. Se nyame ya wadom na wini election a ubesi National Cathedral. Inti no se wu ye na bebu asori ni interest a. We the church we will support. But it's like these people they are not serious. They are not making any effort. In the method is sorry at Tamsika Kukro at the Agama National Cathedral Sayensi. Meanwhile, you won't see a honum. Intimate presiding bishop said, Tabian Yanya, Uncle Dinisika. Uncle Jim method is for Sika. Never find better a corpus move. Because even cry when I Wesley Tower, intimate setters can you find the because I don't understand Akufo-Addo. They were capable of money on for Nankasasika and face National Cathedral. No,
Amen. See, people also think that if really the president wanted to build this, he would have done it. Even at the personal level as a promise.
Oh, he could have, but not to this magnitude of a cathedral.
Well, that's what some others are saying.
Yes, he cannot.
That if he really wanted to do, he would have done it.
With salary?
No, not salary. Maybe
his partners, call his friends.
Partners abroad, in Ghana. He's the president of the nation, the #1 gentleman.
Yes. And he's going to use the capital of presidency to, because some people will support him because he's president. And nobody invests for nothing. Now when I support a president of a country, I'm able to get contracts, I'm able to get deals. So it is still on the cloak of the Ghanaian people. So his personal capacity, when he is out of office, even when he's out of office, he will still have something. But the cathedral of this magnitude, this gargantuan edifice, somebody from his pocket build. I doubt if he could.
There's also a correlation between what the budget is and what the actual is.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go to 𝗏𝗏𝗍 and come. Kofi.
Hello.
Yo, ejuma yo, yeti yo. Yeah.
Efa cathedral no hono. Mesrese. Ye ba omi aka no kai tie na super mamu be. Minu na okasa no. Onya botere kakra. Ba omi adwiri nyina ne se ono ba oni church holders ana asafo Ghana nyina betena se. Na ekobare se yese na nado na de na asemba nti enya mbo nko aso. Meanwhile de no so ya contribute to a churches na contribute. It is ono pese or calculate to say ebe waste there. O si ehu kwan be fa so ebetwema eda na si wo. Mejiri se Ghana so benya ho fa so ma ahyenyame so animonyam. Eno ne ye karaje na se ebetuma en saade a anka beboa chense ye de ebufuo bi ne adwen bi menina fa chese ne ma bi a de Ghana fo ye wo sa ambition bi no ye de etake nyama no ke ye ntwa no so na ka ye hwe no way forward na papa pese o de ba no ana ka kra bi so ameka no economy a they say who is abrokuru minya ba ka se bi say 2020 and that didn't happen still like that so cancer had any complain oh e basa na as a ye perceive bi do kure ama o man no if you say yare bi si baabi na etisi fie na edi ewu fie ho a Jesus so aso no ahwe awunya na fina ubetibenya the next 4 or 5 years ahead. I'm sorry, say.
Okay.
Everybody say because I didn't see 2020 any side effect biawo this economy so. Until everybody can say any people to be there. About to me there. Want to me the pankwa omo
okay.
A brave year tumu. So about to me quite before so ya the economy back. No,
yeah, that's an onim. Summary omampeni abedi echire efrese. Ye nyina ye momu na yenye enti se adwenkyere wo hososo a na ye nyina ye ekire se de farmer be kire na adwen onti egusu bisa eye covid levy a eguso ewo ye nneoma a ye toso a besi ne yegusu tua se ye ne ye tua de ne ye bisa se ede ne ye de yo amayen So yeah, can say yeah, the budget on the cost of building the structure. Some of the eminent ministers who were on the board had complained, say they were very, very, very huge, and rightly so said, comparatively to what they have built, it is not
that expensive.
You see, so in the end, okay, are we then being spectators or we are being part of the entire discourse? And that's where we are now.
Yeah.
What will feel?
Sir, so we should talk. We should talk when things are. I think we are there. We have started putting money into it. We have broken grounds. Do we leave it?
No, we don't.
The contractor has taken the money.
Yes.
To even start the groundbreaking process.
We won't leave it. We won't leave it. But let's go to the Western region and ask if we should continue the building. Sam.
Hello.
Sam, who Kasafi Western region Kroben supporting? Ekrofo. Oh, Ekrofo. Okay, all right. Nti ye bisa cathedral na yenko so na yensi wadwe nkyere ne den.
Oh, I say you see. Okay, already. Your discussion.
Yeah, sure.
And it's can you dey no yes kabia ekwaniri. Unfortunately, ye na you think account. Nti ye say yes you so. Then my partner obi a yeah, even though challenges are now what we have to do. And the Dr. Mahmoud Bamiakano, a second for eternity.
All right.
Now, sorry, you come together so that you build the church of God. Because at the end of the day, I think I can
Okay, fantastic. I think most people side to this, but the EBSA say, Niangra, the EBSA say, a banner say, yes, sensia. Ye be be new mama, be at the move pefi. You see, so again, there are issues of source and now you will be a dear man on ye be be. If we are actually involving government resources, will it go through the procurement process?
I think we'll learn from our mistakes. I strongly believe so, because if next time we suffer pong, now you see come and serve on this board with hindsight, with what has happened, you go with open eyes and ask and then look into it, because one day integrity of your person is involved. Your church.
Ediana, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Christ in see.
Yeah, this.
Yes, another idea, the chairman. Now, my first issue I'm making about the electoral commissioner decision I will take here. Now, all of a sudden, was at the opposition frankly speaking, decision that was taken in the haste. Until this one should be a lesson for the electoral commissioner. Now next time one consult the major stakeholders, because the major stakeholders you can't do away with the political parties. Until next time, especially the NDC are one of the biggest. Until really the stress or only free. Now let's come to Nana Addo promise. So the personal promise to build a cathedral for God. Now, say we missed our priority, and now because the Almighty can you can't do it when the state provide the environment for the churches to do that. We encourage demand. So sorry, no, that's all more. And taking the initiative up, no starting maybe a state in the Kramwa, Cabana, to be a impo. But Obayan say your personal promise, and you must achieve that. And look at where we are. I feel near Quabontin, I say the churches should come in and the Anka
or the share sorry in so. It's an say as a from penny for a formal board, or the share for Nensa. But it was among the ministers,
okay, a personal promise in see. We didn't have a plan. Second, our planner, because state wouldn't be there.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yes. Our planner, can now because the promise. And did we even need that?
Okay, all right.
Didn't we need?
Okay, you that's yanko ni.
Yeah, good morning, panel.
Oh, yeah, Kazwa,
Over Casland. Greetings from Caslan.
You one more way.
Yo, me and Crack and Nake, also for Adzika. Let me start on this lighter note. During the evangelism weekend, Bugwe Asomo. Imbe Asomo, ye come Soma Ama. Imbe Asomo, National Cathedral. You have someone ever Asomo. That is on the lighter note.
All right.
She, I think I can wo onyeko woma ni wo brother ni wo vice president awale ma. I think it's a good thing if we have acquired the land or we have the land and the things are under process. We should just go and then do it. But we should just join our hands and get it. It's a national cathedral. Shimbo onupa you onukwake. Keji to ya mojulo be hingbilin. I think Belin will go and bad me shoot. What do Kuni wafanya wakati kumeka jomokobe ama national cathedral. Kuni wana iko konye meke ama somoje na ama soli. Majo wafanya.
But we should also think about this or put this into consideration that if someone has given you an estimate or you call someone to create this table for you in this month, the economic situation will trigger the amount in the next month to create the same table. And so whatever amounts that we have estimated in our minds or put on paper since the inception of that project would definitely change if we want to continue that project today.
So.
Exactly. And so we should put that also
So there must be a recalibration, just as the presiding bishop has said. But you see, one of the things I don't do is to either engage people who do not have knowledge over the discourse. That's number one. I hardly will engage people who don't have on the same thing. Now, number two, if you don't have an experience over something and you accuse, you will be doing the person who is in there at the service. We've all not gone into the thick of politics before, and so sometimes when we are saying, hey, corruption, hey, akashikafi abahabu ni wakwa beni oba useless na kwe. And that is always the test of time. Obidi ni sika kitu ebi bre wo se hwesomano just 1,000. 3 months or buy no also or the IBB. But you are here also accusing the politician who is that. Wait until you are put behind money and ask that you control the whole Bank of Ghana or control the Kaswa credit union. And we'll see how you manage the funds. But as much as possible, we're also Ghanaians and we want our leaders to be accountable to the things they said they were going to do to us. In your conclusion, I think you have some words. Let's hear.
Yes, I think our democracy is fledgling. It is growing. Electoral Commission, every thought, every plan is for the good of the people of Ghana. But they should do more of stakeholder engagement before major decisions are taken. IPAC is a very wonderful tool. Please always use IPAC to carry through your interventions. Again, STC, I know the leadership there, Nana Komia and his team are solid guys. Fortunately, they said they will meet the union people to look at the way forward. I'm hoping that they will find a solution to it and then bring back our STC. And then let things thrive there. And then lastly, the cathedral, where we have reached, we have passed the crying. We have dug the ground.
The cathedral,
beautiful.
The cathedral is always behind
beautiful,
you.
Very
Beautiful act.
Beautiful. So let us, I think the call coming is not bad. We can fulfill scripture again. I think in Exodus, when Moses was building the synagogue, or he asked the people, and the people brought everything, earrings, nose rings, everything. They brought until Moses said it was enough. Enough is enough. The church can rise to the occasion. Let's see how we can put it up to the glory of God. Amen.
All right, thank you very much. So it has happened before when Nehemiah wanted to erect the broken walls. Well, there was problem of funding. But there was a certain divine supply which came from places where he didn't expect. Now remember, there were also the naysayers who said, look, this wall, even if a fox runs over it, it will break. But praise be to God, those walls still stand now. And so we pray that the house of the Lord will be built no matter what it is. Long live Ghana. Long live the will be cathedral. We hope that one day it will come into reality and we'll all go and worship in the cathedral. I want to thank our brother so much, Ni Otuankra. He is a PR specialist, but now he works with the Health Directorate of the Methodist Church, Ghana. Anyami, thank you for coming. All right, we are moving on to Apomode now, so you'll be trying Huabasisia.
Mama, that don't know. Let the dead number. Dead those spices are running in every just so. And you never know yet.
If we come your job, we no use dead spices. We don't go job. I don't feel.
Taste the inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa Pana.
No do sooner better. Everywhere you go, dead spices.
Just the
one. No more dead spices. Aji baby,
Black tasting Adzika.
Kaji go. But dead spices here what Jenny say. Nanya good taste. If we say yeah the natural spices and yeah Ghana hey Annie you want all purpose stew, noodles, curry and nutmeg and a jollof. Dead spices taste yummy, taste lemon. Dead spices taste day inside. FDIG ejedi nkratoya.
Don't come yo, don't come me. Ghana for Methodist Asafoma. WTV enyamfienumo 5 years. Hooray! Na enam emfienuma fidida. WTV ADNT. Or yet don't come me promo. And say, so we are Methodist Asafoma. Now what business? And ejuma ko bia wo pese obo ho dawura. WTV say, ye ba betwa ejuma ko no anaso wadwaton de no. Ne abo ho dawuro na wotwe mienu 2 weeks at the amount 500 Ghana cedis per. Ana wo betia. We eye kwan a WTV efa so e de ada wase say what turn the chi ama drum pempenso a ene wadru Yanuti Methodist Asafoma mo wanyumaku a mo pesa mo bom ho dawuro no muntutu mrika na mo mra Fred WTV na ne penfo ni nkomo emfa don komi promo yi ho 0593 110733 ana WhatsApp 0256 253461 WTV reaching out to the world.
Odofo mo akwa about WTV Jumedi. So WTV so open information, open education, open transformation, anything good. We on WTV so. So if you so na rade nam so aye de Jumedi afa na sam clinic e de brawo. Rade asam na saya de rade asam e page nipa. Rade asam ma kwankire no. Opa kwankire pa. It is the word of God. No na de brawo Jumedi so ya tundi na sam clinic. Clinic ne say rade asam no saya de rade asam ne yedro. Wadi asam na ma kwankire asam no ne na fitiase no wadi de bo wiase dia na endi ho wadi na nasam so ma ne baye namri so God is still in the creative business odaso de nasam ema dia endi ho ema ne ba okasa pomra na pobaye okasa mpata abra ma mpata baye enam nasam so a sam no wa wege no ema dia endi ho etumi ba sa asam nti na Yesu baye no jalo kasa hu hia so ba na nti akọ befie wase gina hana suma asam no asam no baka kasa be bari yade akwaran kran yes we wu nanso Yesu gina bebi o wono soma asam na asam no kasa abofra ne yade pagya no a sa ne be gina TV afidie so ya soma Awurade asam aba wo fie aba wo dwuma ma ba wo kurom Awurade ba ma asam ai pagya wo asam no ba ma dia tofom ya hwe ase asai asam no ba ye oye na sesio e be gina dan mu e be gina miam ya horo asoma Awurade asam na asam no ba ba sa o yade asam no ba ba je wo nkwa asam no ba mu akwankyere wo pa akwankyere pa e the way na asam no waje so clinic asam no beye oyi asam oyi beye nhira dia me sese ho na yame ya dom a efiti jun bosume yi ya wode bia enumre na wotwe fa e say dwede de bebro wa ye nhira bidin any very reverend Dr. Solomon Bruce secretary of synod Sunyane Diocese e de say dwede e de bro the meeting so Awurade nhira beye nhira o beye nhira.
Good morning. It's a rainy Wednesday morning here in Adabraka, and we are asking how well are you doing in this rainy season. You are still watching 𝗟𝗜𝗙. Wake up to a purposeful day. My name is 𝗟𝗜𝗙𝗘. We masha phone na akwaba eba apomuden yamre. So apomuden is brought to you by 𝗟𝗡𝗙 Institute. 𝗟𝗡𝗙 Institute, a therapy center for all your addiction problems, any form of addiction, smoking, alcohol, any form of addiction. Obi to me akwa kuhu 𝗟𝗡𝗙 Institute for wonom ewo Kumase Kochi, and I pay on apomuden ear chiche and komo afa high blood pressure high blood pressure enti yenko na yenko kosiade.
The heart pumps blood throughout your body to give the energy and oxygen to every cell. It's circulation of blood that is vital to sustaining life. As the blood moves, it pushes against the sides of the artery walls. The strength of this pushing is your blood pressure. How can you tell if you have high blood pressure? Having high blood pressure or hypertension is not usually something that you feel or notice. It does not tend to produce obvious signs or symptoms. The only way to know what your blood pressure is to have it measured. Blood pressure is measured in millimeters of mercury and is written as 2 numbers. What do the numbers mean? The first, or top number, is your systolic blood pressure. It is the highest level your blood pressure reaches when your heart beats. The second, or bottom number, is your diastolic blood pressure. It is the lowest level your blood pressure reaches as your heart relaxes between beats. For example, if your reading is 120/80, your blood pressure is 120/80. High blood pressure or hypertension is when your blood pressure is always higher than it should be, and it is usually diagnosed when your levels are always above 140/90 millimeters of mercury. High blood pressure makes the arteries less stretchy and damage the wall of your arteries. This makes it easier for fatty deposits to build up and limits the circulation of blood and oxygen. High blood pressure has no symptoms, and if left untreated, it can lead to heart attack, kidney and blood vessel disease, and stroke. Anyone can have high blood pressure. It can be caused by eating too much salt, drinking too much alcohol, being overweight, or not being active enough. Some effective ways to lower your blood pressure levels. Increase activity and exercise more. Lose weight if you're overweight. Cut back on sugar or refined carbohydrates. Eat more potassium and less sodium. Eat less processed food. Stop smoking. Reduce excess stress. Stay healthy. Dandelion Team.
Enti high blood pressure home video ena share a yesua ade ba ko minu na anape one kai share krano kai se video no yen se sebe se uye obi a ota edi enchine pa etumi ede high blood pressure eba also afi so there are no signs and symptoms to high blood pressure aji se wako hospital na yakwa check ama ansana yebehu se o high blood pressure enti se ne de bia meka no amene abre nyina no bomodian se onan ebeye intientia ewo ayaresabia anapei aha ena yede apomuden emre no ebesi apomuden was brought to you by Piptest Institute a therapy center for all your addiction problems, any form of negative addiction biano betumi akwakohu Piptest Institute for ewo Kumase Kuchi. Within the Rachel Mercy and Miss Sorry Sui, Miss Nice up next with Insurance Minutes.
Piptest Institute. Ayaresabia Hotonia Sundia Shahoma. Edia no wakwanchre ni adekodia poten no a epiama otokoso wa abrabomu. Nanso sensanom ni nubone fa basa betwa wa akwan mu a eyi wa adwini free obotaye no so. Wo Piptest Institute no yebetumi aboa wo ni wabusuafo a muhia mo anyina ma wogie ayemodea. Ye ayaresabia sebi yebeboa wo na wato nsane nubone fa ntentan mu. Ayaresabia ibotaye ne se ebeboa adwuma mu nimdifo asuafo ni nipa ahodo nyina ama watu anamwa edikan a edifa ahodie bebre won mpanimfo a yene won di dwuma no bi ne won a wo hwa adwene mu yare afutufo ni adokotafo ni anesefo a wode won ho afiri nsanom ne nubone fansem yatete saa nimdifo yi na wo nimdia ne nuoma pa ebo ayarefo no na de atwam nso ne se ayaresan hyehyeye ni gina abelfo hyehyemu ni USA hyehyeye a wodidi dwuma no Piptest ayarehwe ne fie die nyina yepe yayaresan hyehyeye no gu ahodo na ebi ne medical monitored detox program, residential rehabilitation yesan tumi fa ye nananom akwa ahodo so sayare na ebi nso ne group therapy, 12-step AAA programs, recreational therapy ne nia ekeka ho. Ayarefo ne da akyehye ase bra odi ne nan besi biaye ho no a. Piptest Institute ya belfo ayaresabia ehwe won a wado suko won sane nubone famu. Na ani wiase afa na hyehyeye nyina nso yepe. Adampa hodo a ye wonu bi ne VIP rooms, professional rooms, standard rooms, and air conditioned rooms. Laundry services ye free. Ahobambon sem so wo sro kama. Yesan wo bia ya osua de na eba no aduane sem de a uni hawkra. Ye na tru kwan wo Kumasi kochi e wa Asante Mantam Ghana. Sa wo pentremu bia nso a mepa chow fryan wo 0245 849185 ana 0322 496188. USA Fonson fryan wo 404 735 7697. Abel Fontaine Tansu Behunu Yenwo www.marthaedu.org. Piptest Institute, the Extension Center for Integrative Therapy, home away from home.
Still in the rainy season, and we are all telling you today to take good care of yourselves, and also you should protect your home. Insurance Minute is proudly brought to you by Danwall Insurance Company, and for Danwall Insurance Company there's a home protection policy for you, and there's also a personal accident policy for you. And so if you're able to sign on to any of these two, especially the home protection policy, flood happens and most of your items in your home is lost, you can get your claims right for you, and then you can get your home back just the way you want it to be. And so today Danwall Insurance Company is open to the general public. If you are eligible, please do well to sign on to at least one insurance policy, and please pay your premiums right on time. There's a video from Danwall Insurance Company, and it has to do with motor insurance.
Ebusiafo, midin di AC Danwell. Obetumi afra me ACD. Me a virtual insurance underwriter. Metimi aboa. Ama wonsa ka motor insurance policy sima eduntem. Nia ubeya ne so besane me ha e WhatsApp number iso 050-168-7806. Na enchakra. Me jejuma no ama.
If it must be done, it must be done well.
You want to contact Danwell? Well, it is just simple. Just log on to any of the social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, and of course WhatsApp, and then you can get to speak to an agent from Danwell Insurance Company. Up next is Agro. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.